Hello, today is the 17th of February 2011. Welcome to today's Silver Log. And in today's episode, we're going to go over the new silver nominal highs, or the 31-year highs that were set today, as well as palladium. But before we get started, I want to go over this stock. Well, it's not really a stock, it's a chart though. These numbers are accurate. The moving averages from the data that I have is all accurate. I'll go over it now, what I see with the technical analysis, where I think it's going to go, and at the end of the video I'll tell you what this happens to be. We'll start with trendline analysis, and it had a downward slope to start this. I want to do parallel lines, so I'm just going to draw over it like that, and there's a downward slope which was followed by even a steeper downward slope. So it was really bearish to start off this chart. But then things have turned around, because you had this bearish point of view and then this bearish point of view. And then after that, you had a steep uprise, something in the area of this, which is pretty fascinating. Then another one. But what you can notice on this one here is that it made a breakout above, right in here, and then it not only went back into the range, but it fell below it, found resistance at the range in here. So that's a little bit alarming. This is showing us to be a potential bull trap. So now how would I play it, or not really play it, but where do I expect this chart to go? And it's only an opinion of mine. I'm basing it on what I'm seeing here with the shorter term moving average here, which was brilliant support, showing neutrality in here, and then the breakout with support. It found resistance, and then again, to me, I would think that it would retrace 38.2% from this high and this low on an exponential level, which works out to 238. So that's where I would expect it to bottom, but then potentially explode after that. And I'll tell you at the end of this episode what this index, or what this chart happens to be. Let's move on to today's action. We'll start off with the silver chart. Then we'll move over to palladium. And we now got new all-time highs. Well, not all-time highs, but new 31-year highs. It has surpassed the 3128 level. I was stating that we look to make an appointment with the 31.25 to 3150 level, based on how we've been trading over here on the breakout above the 29 1/3 Fibonacci level. Well, the appointment was today, as it has managed to break out above, and it's looking fairly nice how it's all moving. Now, as far as trend line analysis is concerned, we can draw some parallel lines in here, and I guess if we use the major highs, I mean, there can still be room for more upside potential, just because we're at this key 3150, 3140 Fibonacci level doesn't mean there's going to be resistance there. After all, we came in here on a couple of occasions before and it sold off. The more often a significant level is tested, the more often it is, or the better chance it has of being taken out. And if we do have any retracement, what I think would be healthy for the market is a 38.2% retracement from the lows of 2630 to whatever the highs happen to be. So let's just assume that it falls down and maybe starts to go back up. If you see a pattern like this, it would scream as if it wants to break that key level and then really move towards the 36 level, try to find some confirmation of a breakout, which would then take us to the next key Fibonacci level, which is that of $48 per ounce. So I'll get into more on that later on, but not in today's episode. As far as the 15-minute time frame is concerned, there was pretty much 3 tests of the 5-day moving average. There was a test here, but it's not seen on the screen, but it did touch it here. There was a successful test here and a successful test yesterday. And it's Obviously, showing brilliant upward potential. Now, as far as some trend line analysis is concerned, I guess if we just do a parallel line to this in here, you can state, well, we're at the same resistance level here. Only problem is it doesn't include intraday levels. And if you do the same length, you'd be looking towards a trend line up towards in here, and that could give us reason for breaking the 32 level. There'll be more on the blog after 4:30 p.m. Eastern time today. Now we're going to move this on to palladium. And palladium, which is a precious metal mainly used for catalytic converters. This is a chart going back to 1990. If anyone has any data available pre-1990, either daily, weekly, or even monthly, if you could please let me know that you got it, I would really appreciate it. I've been trying to find other data. I'm getting my data from the LPPM, which is the platinum and palladium exchange. And within this chart, it had a huge run upwards towards 2000, sort of like the equity markets, and then it bubbled or it popped like the NASDAQ did. The only difference compared to the NASDAQ is it's not too far from its all-time highs, where the NASDAQ has a decent amount of room to go as far as some key support, roughly here, 1, 2, 3 tests of this level, and it's now at highs not seen since as it was falling below. It has a lot of good fundamental uses, as it seems pretty obvious we are still in the early days of technology. Silver's in the same boat, and if that's the case, it's a metal that would be needed. But if we move this on to a ratio chart, the palladium to silver ratio, it's showing us that silver is looking to be a better investment. When palladium was at its highs at 2000, they were doing the opposite. Silver was going down, silver was bottoming, and palladium was topping, which is why the ratio is at like 240 here, and it's went all the way down to like 14, 15. So it might be able to have a little bit of uproom before it falls. You can see a little bit of a bear trap, but I guess if we reverse this chart and go back to the old one, the original chart that I was showing you was that of the 100 ounces of silver to 1 ounces of palladium. As the last chart, this is the reversal of it down in here. And it wouldn't surprise me to see that this chart does go higher. I've been listening a lot to Jack DeAngelis, the collector's coach, recently, and he's been talking a lot about palladium. Yes, it's good, but he's been stating, why not just rather get into silver? It's a much better investment, and I have to tend to agree. Yes, maybe we might go below down to this 238 and then find some support. But if it does bottom in here and comes back to this level, then there would be a failed move. The failed move was that this failed move didn't fail. Now, I know that might sound a little strange, but I say that because oftentimes on failed moves can create fast moves. So if this failed move does not create a fast move below here, then that's a failure. And thus, the failed move should create a fast move in the opposite direction towards the upside. So I don't know if I confused you there. I probably confused a couple of you. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching this. And as far as the silver rally is concerned, check the blog for any updates. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.